A few years ago, if you told me about all the crossovers we'd get in No Way Home, I would have said, yeah, sure. Next you'll tell me Ron Gilbert is making a new Monkey Island game. Well, it looks like Ron Gilbert is making a new Monkey Island game, and that is amazing. This is one of those things I've wanted to happen for years, and would get frustrated because why shouldn't it happen? Ron Gilbert has publicly voiced his desire to make a new one, and no one else was going to do it, at least not since 2009. So why not? It seemed like the only reason it wasn't going to happen is that Disney incidentally gained the rights when they purchased Lucasfilm, since it belonged to LucasArts, and Disney is so big, they probably didn't even know they owned it. It always felt like we just needed the right person to get to Disney's ear and tell them, hey, do you mind if Ron Gilbert makes a new Monkey Island game? By the way, before we go on, I should just quickly mention that if my voice sounds a little off, it's because I have COVID. Somehow, after about 2 years of bobbing and weaving, avoiding this virus, finally it got to me. But don't worry, I feel pretty much fine overall. My voice just might sound a little weird. Anyway, back to Monkey Island. Yes, somehow it's finally happening. Return to Monkey Island, a true sequel brought to you by Ron Gilbert, and of all the nostalgia mining releases of the last few years in any medium, this may honestly be the one that has me most excited. Why? The original Secret of Monkey Island, released in 1990, was special. If you're unfamiliar with it, the game was a point-and-click adventure, meaning you would navigate the world by clicking where you want to go, and you would interact with objects by selecting an action, then selecting an object to apply it to. What are you trying to accomplish? Your name is Guybrush Threepwood, and you want to be a pirate. Although you are woefully unprepared for the task, you seek out the local pirate leaders of Melee Island and set off on the quest. In your travels, you end up squaring off against ghost pirate LeChuck and falling in love with Governor Elaine Marley, who the ghost pirate has kidnapped. I should also mention that the game is hilarious, and often it's hilarious in a breaking the fourth wall kind of way. For example, Monkey Island is the sort of game where you cannot die. The worst that can happen is that you'll be stumped trying to figure out how to solve the next puzzle and progress. But you can't ever get truly stuck or die, with one exception. Guybrush will often boast that he can hold his breath for 10 minutes. Well, at one point in the game, you can actually put that to the test. Guybrush ends up trapped underwater with an idol tied to his leg, and it's really easy to escape. You just pick up the idol and walk to the ladder. First, I love the specious physics that the idol is heavy enough to keep you trapped, unless you pick it up. Second, if you sit there and just wait out the 10 minutes, you'll find out that it's true. Guybrush can only hold his breath for 10 minutes, and once that time runs out, he'll die. It's the only way to die in the game. The game is full of humor like this, which works so well, over 2 decades later, these memories are still burned into my brain. Here's another one. If you're finding the game too difficult and just want to win, well, there's a keyboard shortcut for that. Just hit Ctrl W. The game will ask, are you sure you want to win? Press Y for yes, and boom. The game will congratulate you and then play the end credits. There are also great references to other Lucas properties. Like when Fester demands you give back the idol you stole, you can retort with, it belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum!
This was the first game I ever played that genuinely made me laugh out loud. Though to be fair, it was also just one of the first games I ever played. But even going back to it today, it has the same effect. Speaking of the game's humor, I have to also mention insult sword fighting. Today, pretty much every game mechanic you see can be traced back to some earlier mechanic. Maybe the mechanic has been vastly improved or there's some new spin on it, but one way or another, you can trace it back to something you've already seen before. So it's hard to create real novelty. Well, I am yet to see any modern equivalent to insult sword fighting. In Secret of Monkey Island, you fight by trading barbs with other pirates. When someone insults you, you have to learn the proper comebacks to gain the upper hand. For example, if I were to say, you fight like a dairy farmer, the appropriate response would be, how appropriate, you fight like a cow. Or if I said, "Soon you'll be wearing my sword like a shish kebab," you'd want to reply with, "First you'd better stop waving it like a feather duster." This game mechanic perfectly encapsulates what made the game so special. The process of learning the proper insults and their retorts is fun. At the same time, it's hilarious. Both the insults themselves and just as a concept, the fact that pirates accept this as a means of combat. It also helps contribute to the swashbuckling tone of the game, harkening back to adventure movies, where clever one-liners are a crucial aspect of fight scenes. And finally, like so many aspects of Monkey Island, it's a unique, memorable experience. And it's not just the humor that made Monkey Island special, but also the visuals, music, and characters were so memorable in the same way your favorite movies are. To this day, I'll often catch myself humming this song. Or this song. Or one of many others. Anyway, when a work of art, be it a movie, show, book, or game, is this memorable and impactful, it's usually because there's a specific creative force behind it, with a unique voice and vision. In this case, it's creator Ron Gilbert. That's why none of the sequels since Ron Gilbert's second entry, LeChuck's Revenge, have lived up to the promise of the original, though Curse of Monkey Island came close, while Escape from Monkey Island and Tales of Monkey Island missed the mark. And like Halloween and Terminator, this new game seems to be ignoring all of the sequels that didn't involve the original creator. At least that's the impression I get from the description on the official YouTube trailer. Announcing Return to Monkey Island, the long-awaited follow-up to the legendary Secret of Monkey Island and Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. Plus, they're bringing back the original composers and Dominic Armato, who is the voice of Guybrush Threepwood. In the original two games, there were no voices, but Dominic voiced him in Curse of Monkey Island and so perfectly captured the character, he went back to voice him in remakes of the original two games.
What be ye wanting, boy? I want to be a pirate.
So it looks like the stars have aligned and we are literally getting the dream Monkey Island sequel. And like a movie that I'm really excited for, I kind of want to know as little as possible going in. Though I do have one big question. If you haven't played any of these games, and I highly recommend you do, if you don't want to get spoiled, walk away now. Anyway, my biggest question is, how will Ron address the ending of LeChuck's Revenge, where it's revealed that this entire adventure was a figment of your imagination? LeChuck is actually your brother Chucky, and you are both just kids at an amusement park, implying that both of the first two games are the wild imagination of two kids messing around playing pirates. There are a couple of hints at the very end implying that maybe the games aren't just the imagination of a couple of kids. As Guybrush and Chucky leave with their parents, Chucky's eyes glow as if he actually may be the ghost pirate LeChuck. Plus, we cut back to Elaine still in the world of Monkey Island, wondering where Guybrush is and why he hasn't returned, saying, "I hope LeChuck hasn't cast some horrible spell over him or anything." Maybe we're not meant to think about it too much. After all, it is just a game, and it's a game with so many meta elements that the ending might just be a humorous wink at the audience. But as a child, I was so invested in these characters and the story that the ending bugged me. Even years later, I would think about this ending, and although it's totally irrational, the idea that none of what I saw in the games actually happened just didn't sit right. That is a testament to how good these games were. The fact that they could get you to care that much. Anyway, even if we aren't meant to overthink this ending, I have to imagine Return to Monkey Island will have to somehow address it. I'm guessing they go with the implication from Elaine that a voodoo spell has Guybrush trapped in a hallucination that he's actually a child at a theme park. But everything we saw in the games actually happened, which is essentially the explanation given in Curse of Monkey Island, though again, that game was made without Ron Gilbert's involvement. So we'll have to wait and see how canon it's treated in the new one. Then again, look at the name of the game, Return to Monkey Island. If we take the title at face value, it sounds like coming back to a place that we once left. What if things in the game world have progressed in real time? Guybrush has turned into a child at the end of LeChuck's Revenge and has been trapped in this alternate reality for 30 years. He's grown up in a world where things don't feel quite right. Didn't he used to be a pirate? Wasn't there a place he once went called Monkey Island? A place he must now return to? Hence the name of the game. So the start of the game would be Guybrush Threepwood sort of waking up and realizing that he's been living in a false reality. That would be pretty cool. The humor in the game has been meta enough that I wouldn't be surprised if something like this were to happen. In any case, I'm sure whatever Ron Gilbert has in store for us will be surprising, hilarious, and awesome. I cannot wait for it. I was one when the original Secret of Monkey Island came out, so when I finally became conscious and my brain was developed enough to handle video games, it was one of the first I played. In terms of those nostalgic games that you think of when you remember the childhood glee they used to bring, this is right up there with Mario Bros. 3 or Turtles in Time. So for me, there is a huge nostalgia factor here, and wish fulfillment for a sequel I've been waiting decades for. I can't wait to play this game and see what's next for Guybrush Threepwood. What about you? Do you have any theories on what's next in his story? What do you want to see? Be sure to let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. With that, thank you for watching, and see you on the next One Take.